Okay, so I do this thing where I have to talk to myself, right? So I had to say something to myself, not really. I actually had to talk to the camera that's recording. I just didn't want you all to hear it, okay? So here's what I have to do. First, I believe in giving honor and respect where honor and respect are due. So I need you all to appease me for just a moment. Do we have any military veterans, active service, reservists, or first responders in the room? If you do, just raise your hands. Any military vets, active service personnel, first responders, or reservists? Raise your hands. High, raise them high. Okay, wait, no, see, y'all, I got a microphone. So here's what we're going to do. If you are military vet, active service, reservist, or first responder, raise your hand high. Ike, anyone else? Here's what I need you all to do. I need you to take a seat, sir, because we've got to give you respect and honor. Everyone else that is not military or active service, reservist, first responder, or reservist, I need you all to stand to your feet. We owe these individuals a standing ovation. They deserve more than that. Come on, let's give it to them. Okay, now they're good, but they're not that good. You all go ahead and have a seat. And now, there's another group of individuals that we must give respect and honor to. So my dad was a Navy man. He was a sailor. And as a son of a Navy man, I understand that when your family member is on deployment or on shift, that a big piece of your heart goes out with them. So do we have any family members of vets, active service, reservists, or first responders in the room? Raise your hands. All right, let's give them a round of applause. I know what some of you are thinking, like, dang, Neil, we don't get a standing ovation? No, you do not. And here's why. Because what we're going to do today, we start understanding that not everything deserves equal weight. Do you all agree? So what we're going to do, we're going to look at this thing about working with affluent clientele, but I need some permissions from you ladies and gentlemen. First, I need to speak to the ladies in here. I'm originally from this small country called Alabama, all right? So in Alabama, we say this thing called you guys. So ladies, when I say you guys, I'm not speaking exclusively to the gentlemen. I'm being inclusive to everyone. Ladies, are you okay and understanding of that? Yes. All right, now, fellas, y'all lucked out, because if they would have said no, I was going to say ladies all day, because no one cares how we feel anyway, right? But then there's another permission I need from you. Do I have permission to speak to you all like family? Some of you are like, you don't know my family, Neil. I'm not talking about the wild and crazy family. I want to speak to you as that uncle that shows up at the family events where the nieces and nephews get excited to see him because they know they're going to get something good, but the parents are like, ooh, there's Uncle Neil again. We don't know what he's going to say. Are you all okay if I speak to you like that, family? Okay, so we have PowerPoint. We're going to jump around. We're going to move around. And I'm going to show some live demonstration stuff as well. And so here's what I'm going to ask you all to do. I want you all to think as we go through our time together this morning. I'm not going to tell any of you what you all should do. Is that fair? I'm not going to tell you what you can or what you ought to do. Is that okay? What I'm going to do, I'm going to show you all what I have done, what my peers, what my colleagues have done that have helped us be very successful at this thing, and then I'm going to leave it up to you all. You can put what you want in your pocket, or you can throw it on the floor or in the trash. Deal?
Fair enough.
Okay, fair enough. So this is my hometown, Florala, Alabama. 1,169 people I left. I didn't go back. That's the population of Florala. And so the reason I show you this is not a 10, 20-year-old photo. This photo was like 9 months ago. There are some differences, I will tell you right now. This street light right here is no longer there. It was costing the city too much money to have the blink. So we just do a four-way stop now, okay? But the reason I shared that with you is I want you all to understand that where we're going, what I'm going to share with you is possible for everyone. Deal or no deal? No, deal or no deal? Okay, good stuff. Now, this is the definition of luxury. I forgot to tell you all, this is an interactive session, okay? That means that if at the end of our time together you say that this session sucked, it's a reflection on you, not me. You see, I just got the monkey off my back. So you're only going to get out what we put in. So I know what I want to talk about, but if it's what none of you care about, I have failed. Fair? So I need to know, interactive, what do you all want to take away from our time together? What are you looking to gain, learn, and go? Expectations of the affluent. Okay, what else? How to get to them, how to identify, how to get in.
Stick to what you say on the thing and it's perfect.
Okay, he says, so if I do what I said I'm going to do, then we'll win, right? If I give you all what I promised to give you in the description, we'll win. So here's what I know. I know that I'm going to be able to do that. Anyone else have something that jumps out at them that they want to take away? Yes, ma'am. How do we compete against those who are already established? All right, awesome. Anyone else? Because
How to be the specialist in your area.
how to be the specialist in your area. Good stuff. We're going to cover that as well. Anyone else? Yes, ma'am? Gaining your confidence. Okay, so here we go. And your name, love? Peggy. Penny. Okay, Miss Penny, here we go. How many of you want to sell real estate at a very high level with affluent clientele? Hands down. How many of you have wanting to do it for a while now? Hands down. How many of you have been hesitant because that little thing over here on this shoulder, it's like you're not smart enough, you don't have the right pedigree, you don't know this, right? And so here's what I'm going to tell you. All of those things that you're saying, I know, I've experienced, okay? If you all look at me, besides being devilishly handsome, I have no other advantages over any of you, right? How many of you in here speak more than one language? Okay, I do too. I speak English and Alabamanese, all right? But that is not truly a benefit. Here we go. Definition of luxury, interactive. What does luxury mean to you all? And action. High end. Over a certain price. Oh, right now, your participation sucks right now, by the way. Yes, ma'am.
Sophistication.
Quality, sophistication. Crazy? Fancy. Oh, I thought you said crazy. I was about to say could be. Level of service? Unique. Okay, so here's what we are going to look at. The definition of luxury changes from every demographic and from person to person. What does not change when we talk about luxury or affluent is that whatever you say you're going to do, you have to deliver. Are we okay with that idea? Now, how many of you see this definition of luxury on the screen right now? This is a health check. If you can see that, raise your hand. If you think that there's something up there, raise your hand. Now, this says luxury, but nothing about this says luxury. Do you all see how pixelated this image is right here? Are we starting to see that now that I've brought it out to your attention? I chose this picture and this resolution on purpose. Why? If you say you are one thing and you show something else, what does the market have to believe? What you show them. If I come up here, or yesterday when you saw me, and if I'm in a t-shirt with peanut butter and jelly stains on it and flip-flops, and I'm saying, hey, how y'all doing? Yeah, tomorrow I'm going to teach y'all all about luxury real estate. What are you guys going to say? No, you're not. You could teach us about being a, you might just say, bless your heart, right? Bless your heart.
You must be so good because you can get away with it and look like.
Okay, so she said, she might say, you must be so good that you can get away with it. Here's what I'm going to tell you all. None of us are that good. Okay, so here's what I'm going to tell you. The very first thing about real estate, and especially with luxury, I forgot to ask you all a question. Can you all understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Okay. What is the most important skill in all of the world? What is the most profitable skill in all of the world? It is what? What is it? Oh, we got a mixed room in here. Okay, here we go. The most important skill is communication. Communication is a two-way, two-deal thing, okay? So if you want to truly work with the affluent, the most valuable skill you can have is communication. Give yourselves a pat on the back. Don't hit anyone else. All right, and here's why I say that. The very first lesson has already started. If you cannot communicate, no matter how valuable you are, no matter how much you know, the affluent are not going to care. Are we good there? So here we go, on communication. We're going to kill some things right now, and we're going to bring some others to life. Talking about communication, I will tell you all, I get excited, and if the Alabama-nese comes out, you all just stop me, say, whoa, okay, can you all practice? Whoa. Okay, good stuff. Here's what we need to know. Listing presentations, they just died. We are no longer doing any more listing presentations. Some of you are like, ouch. You know what? We're no longer doing listing presentations. What are we doing instead of listing presentations, ladies and gents? Consultations, but what kind of consultations are we doing? Marketing consultations. You are no longer a listing specialist when you work with Affluent. I get paid a lot of money not to list properties. I get paid because I am a marketing specialist. So now you are a marketing specialist, and you are going to have a marketing consultation. If you got it, say I got it. Okay, we already know the idea of buyer consultations. That was familiar with us. But when we have our marketing consultations, we are no longer doing CMAs. Everyone say ouch. CMAs are dead. You never have to do another CMA in your life. Woohoo! What do you have to do instead? Anyone know? I know the answer to this one, so I'm going to tell you. POV, professional opinion of value. I'm not smart enough to come up with this stuff. I'm just dumb enough to repeat what my coach and my mentors tell me. Okay? POV, professional opinion of value. When you're working with the affluent clientele, do they want anything that compares to what they have or what they're getting? No. So we're telling them, I'm going to do a free CMA. The word free is icky. Instead, we're going to say what? Complimentary. Complimentary. POV, professional opinion of value. Comparative market analysis. What does that mean to any of us? Hell, we don't even know, we're in the industry. But professional, who's putting it together? A marketing professional. Opinion. Can we have dissenting opinions? And value. The affluent think of value versus price. Are we good so far? You all know those things called comps. You think we're going to kill comps right now? Absolutely. Instead, we are going to use the word relevant. Relevant. And so this is why we're starting with communication. When we work with, we speak like. When you open your mouth, you immediately tell the marketplace who you are. Are we good there? So we are getting rid of the word comparable sale. We're now using relevant. In my marketplace, a seller, a buyer does not want to look at any type of property that's comparable. They want unique. They want special. But things could be relevant for a number of reasons. Because of proximity, square footage, architect. It could be relevant because it's the last sale, even if it was 3 years ago. It could be relevant because it's right next door. Do we understand that piece? Relevant. We are no longer doing actives. We're doing available. Because we want to work with these affluent, successful individuals, so when they speak, we want to make sure that we're speaking the same language. And this is what's going to elevate each and every one of your games, all right? So we know the whole idea of, instead of active, we're going to do available. We're no longer doing pendings. Pendings don't exist. What are we using instead? Under contract. So really, under contract, we like under contract, we love the words contract signed or signed contract. Affluent individuals, they like the idea of signing contracts or contract signed. Typically, that means that they are getting something that they want or they've moved a little bit closer. Are we good there? Can I keep going? All right, closed sales. Guess what happened to closed sales about 30 seconds ago? They died. What are we bringing in instead? Real buyers. And what is a real buyer? A real buyer is someone who loved the property so much that they parted ways with their resources, their finances, to get the keys to a property. So we're no longer doing closed sales, we're doing real buyers. So when we have our marketing consultation, as a marketing professional, we're going to sit down and go over our professional opinion of value. We're going to discuss what the market is, but in terms of real buyers, contract signed or properties or signed contracts, and then available offerings. All right. So for some of you in the Northeast, offerings, available trades, any of that, just make sure that you mix your vocabulary in there as well. Are we good? Okay. Any questions, comments, concerns so far? Yes, ma'am.
So in Texas, we're not allowed to use the word value. So what would you recommend instead of that?
So we can't use value in. So professional opinion of value. You can't say value in Texas. So we can't say value. So we can't say that we are valuable. Value or
We can't say the
I say
word,
move
we
to
can't say,
California.
Only appraisers can say
only
value.
appraisals can give the term that this is my market value.
So she's saying only appraisers in Texas can only say market value. So you can't even say this is my opinion of value. So I just want to know, right? And so this is where I'm going to say, dive in, ask someone that's smarter than me, maybe in your market area. I just know that when I go across the country and across the world, value is always relative. Just like we talk about luxury is relative. So what I am not saying is that this is your appraised value, this is the market value. I'm saying this is my opinion. And so I would say just dive in and see what others in your area are using, because here's what I know. There are people doing what we want to do in our marketplaces. Just reach out to one of them. And here's what I also know, that the very best in your marketplace, they are willing to share and give and tell you all of this. You all don't have to wait till you come here for this stuff. Some of us are just intimidated and afraid to go to someone and say, hey, I like what you're doing. I kind of want to do what you're doing. Would you just show me a little bit? They're going to tell you, because they're going to operate from a place of abundance. All right, will you all at least be open to those ideas there? Okay, any other questions, comments, concerns so far? Nope, besides my hairstyle. Nope, we're good there. Okay, so now this idea, this definition of luxury, how you do anything is how you do. See, you all don't say it like you mean it, like you believe it. But how you do anything is how you do everything. How I dress on a Tuesday when no one's looking is going to be an impact, or is going to be a reflection of what I believe and what the market thinks of me and what I think and the place I belong in the market. Are you all understanding what I'm saying? So when we see the definition of luxury, is your social media, does it reflect luxury right now? Does your handshake, do you all know there's a such thing as a perfect handshake? Have you all practiced your handshake? Ladies, I will tell you all right now, ladies, when it comes to working with the affluent, what's the number one detractant of successful individuals working with ladies in the luxury realm? Do you all know? Number one is your handshake is too hard. Ladies, check this out. So, can I talk to you like family? So here's what I'm telling all of my lovely ladies in here. In the affluent realm, if I, as a gentleman or a lady who is successful, if I go to shake your hand, and if you try to overcompensate, I'm going to think that you're not the real deal. So, ladies, many times your opportunity to get in and to work with the affluent is cut off because you don't even think about luxury in every step of the process. What is your voicemail? Is your voicemail message right now a luxurious voicemail? Have we thought about that? Do you answer your phone the same way every time? If someone calls and says, hey, may I speak to Sandra? Do you say, who is this? Because you're like, oh man, I want to know who's asking for me. Or do you say, it's a great day at World Renowned Real Estate. This is Neil. How can I exceed your expectations? These little things, how you do anything is how you're going to do everything, or at least that's the perception. And we know that perception is, so you're like, I don't like that. I don't care if you like it or not. Because here, this is the way things are. In the luxury realm, other people's perception of you is your reality. Do you all think I like dressing like this? Absolutely not. Why do I dress like this?
It works.
It works. Guess what? My clientele, my typical clientele is going to be Caucasian men and women between 54 and 62 years old. I dress like this because this makes them like me a little bit more. Okay? Their perception, it doesn't matter how much I know. How long do we have to get people to like us the way we look? First impression. How long do we have? It's less than 8 seconds. It used to be 8, now it's about 4. Where is the first impression that people are seeing of you? Online. If I Google, how many of you have done an authenticity audit on your social media to see if what they get is really what you're portraying? Because here's what I have learned. The affluent, their BS meter, that's called bull stuff, their bull stuff meter is finely tuned. And so if I see you in one place, but then I want to connect with you in another, if they aren't congruent, you aren't going to win. A couple of words when we talk about communication. I know I'm giving you all a lot. We're drinking from a fire hose. Are we okay? A couple of words that we hate and love when in the luxury realm. We hate the word what? We hate the word rich. We hate it, we abhor it unless you're rich. If you're rich, you and your rich friends can do rich things. We hate the word wealthy. We hate rich, we hate the word wealthy. We will never use those. What are we using instead of rich and wealthy? Affluent is okay, that's still kind of Successful. Why do we use successful? Because everyone wants to be successful. If I say successful, now I have just stroked their ego and I have given them another reason to like me. Are you all with me so far? Now, this is not the definition of luxury. This is not the definition of luxury. Now, some of my friends from Texas, how many of you know that this right here is not what luxury, this is not what success looks like in all parts of the world, in all parts of the country? Let me ask you all, what color is money? It depends on what? Where you're from. So here's what I want you all thinking right now. Maybe some things that we thought before this moment right here when we say, hey, I like those greenbacks. I don't care what color the money is. It doesn't even have to be tangible as long as I can spend it. Are you all with me? So the definition of luxury is going to look and feel different. Now, I know some of you are thinking, well, even if that's not the definition of luxury, I would be okay having that in my life, right? Absolutely. Now, a question was, we want to know, where do we find people? How do we work with them? How many of you really in here want to know, how do I get in front of the people that have the money that I want to work with? Let me ask you all, how many of you know that selling real estate can be a challenge? How many of you know that it's darn near impossible to sell real estate to people who don't have money, right? And so we are here because we want to do this thing and operate at different levels. So here we go. When we are working with affluent or successful individuals, we want to know, so what's a benefit of working with successful individuals, affluent individuals, those who have? Now, we're not talking about good versus bad. We're not talking about what's right or what's wrong. We don't even have to like it, but as family, we're going to talk about realities. What's one of the benefits of working with affluent or successful individuals?
They have capacity.
They have capacity. What else? The houses tend to close. What else do we have?
They make decisions.
They make decisions. They refer to friends. Come on. So y'all liars. Y'all are some liars. Well, say it loud for the people in the front. Bigger compensation. Now, if y'all are volunteers, don't worry. I'm sure there are brokers here that are looking for plenty of volunteers or interns. But one of the biggest benefits is you get to make more money. Does that sound like something that we're chasing after? Right? Because here's what I will tell you. If you get to make more money, you get to do more of the things that the world needs. Okay? And so when we talk about making more compensation, another benefit, how many of you really love what you do? Like really love it. How many of you would really love what you did if you could make more money, do it less, have greater impact? That's what this is right here. I see you, sir. Yep, he went like this. He was like, hey, both hands, let's go. But here's what this does. It gives us opportunities to do that. So where do we find affluent clientele? Interactive session, go. Okay, so here we go. Guess what? Neil is not a member of a country club. I'm not a member of a, really anything other than I have a Chili's frequent card. I mean, they don't even have those anymore. So here's what I'm going to tell you all. The clientele that you all are looking for are right under your noses and you have no idea that they're there. So I want to do something. Can I give you all some resources first? Because there are some things I want you all to have that when you're not with me, the smarter people, the ones that have wrote books, giving you all resources, I want you all to have access to them, okay? So here's what we're going to do. So first, anything by Dr. Thomas J. Stanley, okay? Dr. Thomas J. Stanley was the author of The Millionaire Next Door, and then he and his daughter did The Next Millionaire Next Door. Now, you are not going to like his work. So Dr. Thomas J. Stanley. Thomas J. Stanley. You are not going to like his work because he's going to tell you the way truly successful people think, and they are not the glittering rich that we see on A&E.
Right.
You're not going to like the fact that they think of finances and retirement. You want the glittering rich, those ultra high net worth 30 million plus earners that are going to spend off and trick off 30 grand just for lunch. But we need to know how the successful think. So anything by Dr. Thomas J. Stanley. The next one is going to be, he's a friend of ours. He's one of us, so Jack Cotton. So Jack Cotton has been giving the game away for 30 years. Here's the problem. We are not listening to the dude.
Right.
Go on YouTube, I'm from Alabama, so I know Cotton, right? So Jack Cotton, see, you got it. See, I told you all, it was going to be kind of risque. Jack Cotton, C-O-T-T-O-N. Jack has been giving the game away for decades, and we aren't listening. So go on there, or go on YouTube, get that. Any members of the Institute for Luxury Home Marketing in the room? I'm not telling you all to spend money, go sign up. I'm telling you just look into their programs and the training. Once you start doing this thing, it might be advantageous for you to go to luxuryhomemarketing.com. That's their website. I don't get anything from it, but the Institute for Luxury Home Marketing or luxuryhomemarketing.com. I just believe that it's good stuff, right? So when I'm not with you, I will have that. Knight Frank, the Knight Frank Wealth Report. Are you all looking at this information? Knight Frank, here we go. All right, so I am going to put it on the screen, I do believe, if technology cooperates. It's Knight, like K-N-I-G-H-T. And let's see if Knight Frank Wealth Report. And it is not cooperating with me. I'm getting everything here. So the Knight Frank Wealth Report, K-N-I-G-H-T-F-R-A-N-K. K-N-I-G-H-T-F-R-A-N-K. You want that report. Here's why. Because they are telling us what the affluent care about. So Knight Frank. Let's go back. There's another site that I want you all to get familiar with. That is going to be WealthX. W-E-A-L-T-H dash X. The letter X. Wealth-X. Wealthx.com. The billionaire census came out, right? It talks about what they care about when it comes to travel, what they look at for art. Here's what I want you all to know. The affluent are not going to work with you because you know real estate. How many of you know that affluent individuals don't need us to buy or sell real estate? None of my clientele need me. They want to work with me. And it is typically because I understand what they care about, right? So once we start understanding that, so WealthX is going to be a report. Knight Frank. How many of you have heard of Lori Moore for the Institute for Luxury Home Marketing? Rich Buyer, Rich Seller. There's another book I want you all to look. Now this one, don't purchase this book. I want you all, you can Google, you can find the electronic version. It's updated. I think it was updated in 22 or something like 21, 22. So Rich Buyer, Rich Seller. David Machonsky, fantastic book for us, for those of us who are on the marketing side. It's called Power Marketing for Luxury Real Estate. Power Marketing for Luxury Real Estate. David, and I'm going to spell his last name, M-I-C-H-O-N-S-K-I. David Machonsky.
Say one more time, please.
So David Machonsky, M-I-C-H-O-N-S-K-I. SKI. The name of the book is Power Marketing for Luxury Real Estate. So the whole idea with Dave Machonsky and Power Marketing is how can I turn every event into a live auction style event? How can I play on people's desire not to lose in any type of event? How many of you are looking for one buyer, one seller, right? For us, what we want to do, we want at least two. We want to have at least two people so that one person knows they're going to lose, right? Okay, another book, Becoming a Key Person of Influence. Becoming a Key Person of Influence. And that's going to be by Daniel Priestley. Becoming a Key Person of Influence, Daniel Priestley. Last name is Priestley. The whole idea with Daniel Priestley and becoming a key person of influence, the question was, how do we compete with those veteran agents that are already successful in real estate? Become a key person of influence in the industry so that now people will line up to work with you. Can I go ahead and tell you all the easiest, fastest way to do that? Well, let's be interactive. Let's ask them some questions. What do you all think the easiest, fastest way to become a key person of influence is? And action. Hang out where they hang out? Not quite?
Be quoted in the media.
So how many of you, Ms. Sandra said, be quoted in the media. How many of you have been quoted in the media in the past 6 months? Here's what I'm going to tell all of you. There is a site I'm going to give you all right now. There's no excuse for you not to have an editorial write-up about you and your business. It is called Canvas, C-A-N-V-A-S, Rebel, R-E-B-E-L. Canvas Rebel, C-A-N-V-A-S-R-E-B-E-L. Google Canvas Rebel, I believe it's canvasrebel.com, if I'm not totally mistaken. Here's what they do. All they do is find entrepreneurs and business owners around the world that they want to feature. That's how I got started. And so for me, I just told people, I'm really good at this thing called luxury real estate and global real estate. I went on to Canvas Rebel. I did and here's what's crazy. It's an interview. Do you think they're talking to all of us? No. What are they going to ask us to do? Fill out an online survey. It's going to be like 6 questions. You get to tell the world what you want the world to know about you. How many of you can do that? If you do it, they are going to get you're going to get your information published, and now you are moving towards being a key person of influence. Next, for instance, how many of you know that most online media sources like newspapers or even TV stations, if you go to the bottom of their website, all the way to the bottom, now it's not going to work for the Chicago Tribune and all that, all right, but most local newspapers at the very bottom has a contact us link. Click on the contact us link. Here's what you're going to find. Since the pandemic, it is no longer a form fill. Most of them are going to give you the direct email addresses to the different departments in the newsroom. How many of you are old enough to remember this thing called the 24-hour news cycle? You don't have to raise your hand. Where what came on in the morning was the same story that came on at night. Now there is a 13-second news cycle. Media sources need new, fresh stories every 13 seconds to stay relevant. So if you go on and you go to any local news, paper, or TV station, contact us section. This is what I'm doing, ladies and gentlemen. So it's not that I am better than any of you. I'm just more consistent at making sure that I'm easy to be found. Right? Some of you right now, your clientele, your marketplace needs what you have, affluent clientele need what you have, they just don't know you exist. Do you all believe that? How many of you believe that you have what it takes to work and serve the affluent clientele? How many of you probably just aren't in front of them right now? Right? Because if they don't know that we exist, then it is all for nothing. Fair enough? Any questions, comments, or concerns? So we got Canvas Rebel. Yes, ma'am, all the way in the back. You got to scream at me.
Okay, I can't scream. You do multiple areas. So like
I'll repeat the question.
Sorry about that. So I work with people getting $200,000, $300,000 properties as well as luxury. How do you navigate that?
Okay, so the question is, she works with different, we're going to call them different baskets of business. So she might work with $200,000 and $300,000 properties. She has different languages. And so for me, here's what I am going to tell you. Do you all know that your clients, your customers, that they're going to refer you if you're good at what you do? How many of you have helped crappy people? And what have they referred you? Crappy people. Why? Because crappy people know they're crappy, right? And they're like, oh man, she worked with me or he worked with me. So here's what I'm going to encourage you all to do. We know that niches bring riches. How many of you have chosen a primary niche to your business? If you have not, this is Uncle Neil telling you, you're never going to play in the highest levels. So I'm just going to tell you all what I do. Pocket or trash, it's not going to hurt my feelings. Do I believe that everyone needs a realtor? Absolutely. Do I believe that I need to be everyone's realtor? Absolutely not. Do I care about first-time buyer? Do I care about affordable and attainable workforce housing? Absolutely. Do I answer any questions that affordable first-time buyers ask? No, I do not. In my marketing, I am not speaking to first-time buyer. I'm not speaking to investors. I am speaking to the affluent, period, in every piece of my marketing. Here's why. If the marketplace sees that I can handle 3, 4, 12, $13 million properties, do you think the assumption is that I can handle 300,000, 400,000 first-time buyer? Absolutely. So you have to first identify who are you going to speak to. We call it your ideal client. So every one of my videos, my marketing pieces goes to my ideal client who's between 54, 62, and check this out. I know my ideal client is a Caucasian male and female who have been married for almost 20 plus years. So I speak to, now here's what I need you all to do. You all see this thing right here? This is called that fair housing box. We got to stay inside of that fair housing box, understood? So I'm not saying, hey, all old white people come work with me. I can't say that. But what I can do is understand how my ideal client thinks. So in every one of my marketing or video pieces, here's what I do. I speak to my ideal client. I have given them an avatar. So my ideal client is James and Julie Betterman. I know where they live. I know what they drink. I know how they dress. I know where they're going to spend their money. How many of you are using RPR? Okay, so really quickly, how many of you are using those trade area reports in RPR? Where it is telling you, so the trade area reports in RPR, they have these different things called tapestries. They are telling you everything down to the color of the print that you should have in your marketing, because if it's Republican, we're using one color. If it's Democrat, we're using another color. It's going to, yes ma'am.
Can you say what that is in RPR?
So it's called Trade Area Report. Trade Area Report. Do we have any staff in here from CRS? Is Bridget still back there? Bridget, can I get someone to help me? Because I want to show them actually on the website where it is. Because that's what I want you all to do. I want you all to know exactly where to go to get this, because I'm not saying it's free, but it's already in our dues and we're paying for it. The difference is I'm using it in your marketplaces. So when I have affluent clientele that wants to buy in your marketplace, they're coming to me, and then I'm giving you all the lead for what? Some peanuts and pennies. You all understand what I'm saying? But I know exactly who my ideal client is. Many of us in here are trying to feel our way through. So the question was, how do we identify these individuals? How do we compete with these skilled or veteran agents? There are really 3 metrics that are going to position you as an expert when working with the affluent clientele. Do y'all want to know what they are? Yes. I'm glad you said yes, because if you said no, I was going to say I'm in the wrong room. Okay, first, list price to sales price ratio. List price to sales price ratio, or percentage of original list price to sales price. We know where to find that in our MLS, all that, right? Original list price to sales price ratio, that's going to be 1. The next one, month supply of inventory or absorption rate, depending on what your people say. Month supply of inventory or absorption rate. And then we really want to know the median days on market. median days on market. If I know those 3 pieces of information, that's what the affluent care about. What's the most precious asset to the affluent, to the successful? It is time. So when we work with, we speak like. So we have list price to sales price ratio, month supply of inventory, and then days on market. Median, and I don't care if you're using time to contract or time to sell, that's totally up to you, but just know whatever it is, know there's a difference, and then be able to explain why or what the difference is. Yes, ma'am.
For our market or our personal?
Okay, so
these were 3 things for what?
So if you know these 3 metrics, you're going to be perceived as an expert. So now the question is it for your market or for your sales that you're doing? I say no both. And so here's the thing. You don't even have to know all of it. Are you all using the neighborhood reports in RPR where you're just going in and you put in a zip code and it's telling you all of that immediately on your phone? So I will come to your marketplace and I will take all of your luxury clients, all of your affluent clients. Now, that's a bold statement, right? But all I know is I'm going to go in, and that's why I want to show you all. I'm going to go in, I'm going to know exactly the zip code to sell to. I know where they're going to spend their money. I know what they're reading, where they're eating. And all of you have access to that same information right now. And some of you, do you know that you have access to that info? Yes. Okay, have you all used that information? Here's how we use it. Once I show you what we're going to do, how many of you don't like the way you look or sound on video? Guess what? We don't care and the market doesn't care either. What do we have to do? We always say we want the affluent, we want individuals to know us, like us, and that's really hard to do via blog. That's really hard to do via one-way marketing. For my global friends in here, right, I do a lot internationally. If I do a video and I put it on YouTube, when it does the auto-generated captions, what language are the closed captions going to come out in? Whatever language they have it set to. So they might not be fortunate enough to speak Alabamese, but when it translates to Spanish, they can read it. Now, they see me, they hear me, but they're reading in their native tongue. Okay? I just need to be able to share what's on the screen there, on my form from Microsoft Edge onto the screen here. So I don't know if you need this as well. All right. So you can get out of the PowerPoint. We're not going to use the PowerPoint anymore. Gotcha. All right. So ladies and gents, so we're going to do an audible. We're not going to use the PowerPoint anymore because all I do up there are photos, right? You all see there's no words up there. So here's what I want you all to consider. How can you, each and every one of you in your pockets or at home on your laptops, you have a television production studio that you aren't utilizing? Can I talk to you like family? If you want to get in front of the affluent, stop TikToking. They're not there. Get on YouTube. Start telling them about your marketplaces. Stop sharing photos. The affluent, they have 30 other realtors that are sending them properties. What they aren't getting, what's the median days on market, list price to sales price ratio, month supply of inventory? What does that mean to me? Do I have a real estate agent, a marketing professional who's going to help me get connected to tax professionals, who are going to help me with probate and estate? If you do that, that's how we win. Okay? When it comes to, how many of you are tied to some type of charity or philanthropic organization, faith-based organization, right? So here's what I'm going to tell you. If you can get people's heart, they will give you their money. Do you all believe that? Amen. The problem is, in real estate, we stop going for people's hearts. So I told you all at the very beginning, on the weekends, I'm with kindergarten through 5th graders at my church. And I love kindergarten through 5th grade kids. I don't do this for the business. But once parents know that Pastor Neil has their kids and I'm showing up at birthday parties and we're doing all of these karate competitions and everything else, when it comes time to buy, sell real estate, have conversations, I already have their heart. Their kids call me Mr. Neil. So guess what's going to happen? You think I can't handle, I'm dealing with your kids' lives. Can I handle a multi-million-dollar transaction? Absolutely. So I want you all thinking about those pieces there. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Because we do have a few minutes. We've got about 15 minutes, I promise, to make sure that we hit everything. So here we go. Do you know where your ideal client or customer works? Do you know what their profession is? So for me, I know where mine work. So we're going to be very specific and targeted in all of our marketing. So for me, for instance, the zip code where I live, it has a lot of healthcare professionals, meaning like registered nurses, CNAs, all of that. But where I work, they're all business owners, CEOs. So it's about 2 blocks, 2 streets difference. So in my marketing, I am not putting photos of the registered nurses and those individuals in my marketing pieces because I would not be speaking to James and Julie Betterman. Are you all with me? Questions, comments, concerns? Bank trust officers, let's get them on our teams. Accountants. Do you know what your job is as a marketing consultant or real estate professional in the luxury realm? What do you think your job is? It's not to buy or sell a house. Resource. Now, if this was a room full of giving bad answers, you all would be stellar. I'm kidding. So here's what your job is. Your job is to make everyone else look like a rock star. If you make everyone else in the transaction or in your lives, if you make them look like a rock star, you are going to win. So here we go. Quickly, we're going to go to RPR. And we have a few things, but I want you all to see first. Here we go. Knight Frank. You all got the Knight Frank report, right? Knight Frank, and we're going to come right down here to Research Library, or you'll see the Wealth Report. The Knight Frank Wealth Report, one of the most valuable pieces of information that you're going to get because it's going to help you understand how the affluent think. The next one is going to be right here. That's that WealthX, wealthx.com. So there is no dash, so it's wealthx.com. Wealthx.com, once you're here, do you all see these insights? Wealthx.com, insights, where do you all think we're going? We're coming right here to reports. Wealthx, and we're going to come to reports. Once we, I'm sorry? No ma'am, all of this is F-R-E-E. Is that how it's spelled, free? Yeah, all of it is free, right? And so this is why I want you all to know you have access to it, we just don't know to use it. All right? So we're not subscribing to anything right off. Let's first start looking, diving in. Some of you are going to find super value in it. Others are going to say not so much. Remember, I told you all about the newspaper. So this is one you all don't need this one. I just want you all to see that I'm actually doing what I tell you. So this is one of our South Florida newspapers. I come down to the very bottom. Once I come all the way down to the bottom, you all see this contact us right here, yes? Once I click on contact us, they are tired of hearing from Neil Oates. Do you all see the email addresses right there? We dive in a little bit further. Do you all now see where it's going to tell us business growth? David is tired of getting my emails. I'm going to tell you all what's going to happen. They are not going to publish anything that you send to them. But you are now going to be the source when they need someone talking about real estate or growth, business, buyers coming in. Are you all with me? So we're not doing this to get published. We're doing this to become the source if you do this month after month after month. Now, David is like, Neil, I hear about so-and-so coming into South Florida. What do you know about it? Oh, I'm glad you asked, right? Do you all see how we're going to do this here? Now, this is going to be Canvas Rebel, canvasrebel.com. I know you all are servant leaders. Here's what I need you all to do. I need you all to come right over here, click the sandwich menu, and you're going to suggest a story. Canvas Rebel, go to the sandwich menu, suggest a story, and what story do you think you're going to suggest? No, you're going to suggest your story. You're going to put your name, email address, website, social media, and you're going to put that you think that you should, like here, you're going to put all this information. Who do you think they should contact? That's why I mentioned early up front, we want to make sure we do that social media audit, that authenticity audit, so that we know when we go to our website, when they come to social media, that you're someone worth contacting for an interview. Are you all with me so far? They need each and every one of your stories. Because here's what I want you all to stop thinking. I want you all to stop thinking that it's about real estate. It is not about real estate. Successful individuals want to work with entrepreneurs and creatives. They want to work with someone who's like them, and they might not be in real estate, but they have the entrepreneurial spirit. That's why you're going to suggest a story. It doesn't say interview. How many of you have worked on your pitch? I'm not talking about your elevator pitch, but when I say your pitch, how many of you can tell your story and weave it into this thing called real estate? I've already done it. I told you all my dad was in the Navy. Think about this. I told you all that I speak two languages, English and what? Alabamese. I've told you all that. What state am I from? Alabama. I'm working in different price points in South Florida. So now I need you to get your story, start crafting your story. As Uncle Jim Rohn would say, everyone has a story. You all just aren't telling the story. Are we good so far? Now we are going to go to RPR. This is what I want you all to see. If nothing else, go to RPR. Do we have any commercial practitioners in here? Okay, so my commercial practitioners, you probably have seen this more than the rest of us who specialize in residential. So we're going to come right over here to reports. Do you all see where I am? Right here on reports. We're going to click on reports, and we're coming down to trade area report. This is going to answer so many questions. How do I get into the luxury area, to the luxury price bands? So under trade area report, you're going to come here, put in a zip code, and then you're just going to hit search. It's going to pull up the area, and then you're going to hit run report. Are you all there? You all with me? Now, I have already pulled some of these reports. This is the area where I live. This is the area where I work. And here's what I want you all to see. You all have access to this information already. So do you all see why? For instance, my specialty is waterfront single-family homes or single-family homes with at least an acre. I'm only speaking to James and Julie Betterman. I live right here. I work this area, so now I'm not talking first-time buyer. I'm not talking 400,000 or lower. This is telling me, those tapestries I was telling you all about, all we did was type in a zip code, right? It's pulling up this report. This is why I'm confident and comfortable going into any marketplace or doing market update reports. I know in my marketplace, 33% of the population in 316 is going to be golden year tapestry. Do we see these median ages? Do you see why I dress like I dress? Do you understand why I use the words and the language that I do? It's because it's telling me right here, 33% of the households are going to be golden years, 25% are silver and gold. Almost 60% of my business or my target audience are going to be these two tapestries. Let's look right here really quickly. Let's look at median age. I am 41 years old. So to my age group, I am a weirdo the way I dress. And I'm okay with that. Why? Let's look right here. When we come down to the median age, 53-64, median household income, and this is where I really want you all to pause for a moment and just take a quick look at this. So when we look at median household income, 37-year-olds are making more money. Do you all see that? But what do we see right here? This median net worth. Are you all with me? You all have access to this information. Let's look at median home value, $400,000. Why is their median home value $400,000? They haven't sold it. They bought it 30 years ago. You all saw what it looked like, waterfront properties, right? We might think, and so we go to work with the trendsetters, 67,000 or right here 95,000 because they have the income. They purchase their properties later, and all this is coming from the county and public records. Are you all with me so far? So, but you all remember this thing called the inventory challenge and inventory shortages? Neil didn't have an inventory challenge. Here's what Neil did. I saw that 65% and 87% of these people own properties where the median or market values were here. So what was I doing? I was telling them a story. Now might be a time to take advantage of all this equity, right? Instead of looking for 27% of homeowners where they might have purchased for $743, might be able to sell it for $800. Are you all with me so far? Okay. Then, lastly, and this is where I want you all to really dive in, this is going to tell me everything that I need to know. What are their activities? What are they watching? What vehicles they drive? I know that I am going to go to my hub for business is Panera Bread on 17th Avenue. Why do I go to Panera Bread? That's where the old white people are. And check this out. And when I go, I am showing up with my coffee mug. Why? Because there's this thing called the Unlimited Sip Club. And when I sit at my table, I'm dressed like this in Panera all day. And I'm going to have a copy of Think and Grow Rich on the table. Why? That's what they read. Anything by Norman Vincent Peale, W. Clement Stone. And then we're going to go a little bit deeper, ladies and gents, in our closing seconds right here. It's going to go in depth and tell you RPR, all that big data that we're fighting over, all that stuff that we want, RPR has it, we just didn't know it existed. All right, so this is where I come in and I know exactly who I'm going to work with based on the zip code and all this information. You all know when you go to the gas station, you think that you're putting your zip code in for security reasons. No, it's for tracking, right? So now it's going to tell me, look at this. It's telling me that my golden years, that they are avid readers. It's going to tell me that they watch cable TV. Let's go a little bit further down here, silver and gold. Partial to luxury cars and SUVs, highest demand market for convertibles. When I pull up at Panera Bread, I know who's inside by what's in the parking lot. And so I have just done is telling me college degrees. So I speak a language, I use a vocabulary that they are comfortable with. And here's your job. If you want them to know you, like you, and trust you, you just have to be more like them. So I become the grandson or the son they wish they had instead of that knucklehead, right? Because now they have to. And then we didn't get to the other part. The other parts are going to be where they dive in. They start looking online. They see that you have market information, that you have become a key person of influence. All right? Lastly, I am going to encourage y'all. So I want to show you all something. Everything that I have told you all, this is not theory. It's not something that we looked at in the book. So this is all I've done was I have just gone and have just maximized exposure. You all are too good at promoting real estate and you're horrible at promoting yourselves. Do you all believe me? Because here's why. They don't need us to buy or sell. What they need is you and your story. The affluent, if they will see that you are a person of influence, they will line up, they will come out of the woodworks. You'll stop looking for them, they'll start looking for you. I am going to encourage each and every one of you to find a way to get on a stage. Scared, knees shaking, everything. Get on a stage, get in front of an audience, make media contributions. Once you do that, this picture right here is responsible for more income than anything else I've done in my business. When I can have a lady and an old white-haired white guy listening to me with the microphone, that tells my ideal clients that I'm someone they should listen to. Do you all understand what I'm saying? So it's not as hard. We just have to be intentional. Before I go, I want to tell you all something. I open every presentation the same way, giving thanks and honor to the military. I end every opportunity the same way. And first, I want to say thank you. For me to get to do this, this is a dream, it's an honor. But there's something that I need to tell you and that you need to hear even if you don't know it. I don't know if you haven't heard it in the past day, week, month, or maybe it's been a couple of years, but I want to tell you that I love you, right? I believe that if we lead with love, everything else is going to come as a result of it. If you all, I'm going to be hanging out. I think they're going to have people around. I'll be hanging out. You all, I'm easy to find if you're looking for the best. All right, I want to say thank you all. You all have been an absolute treat and a pleasure. Have an amazing rest of your time here.